Hello friends! First I introduce myself. My name is Gala. I was born and raised in Russia, but for the last 4 years I've been living in America. And 4 years ago I started making flowers with my own hands from sheets of foam. During this time I've accumulated enough experience to share this with you. In this video I decided to start your acquaintance with this type creativity and talk about the basic materials and tools that are necessary to create realistic flowers. This will be a brief overview, and in more details I'll talk about everything in my next video already during the work on the flowers. And please forgive me for possible mistakes in my speech and for a strong accent, because English is not my first language. So the first and main material for create realistic flowers, it is the sheets of foam. I'll do a detailed review of the types of foam sheets in the next video, since today there are many types of foam and each has different properties, advantages and disadvantages. So I think this is too big a topic that should be considered separately. Next you'll need a wire. The wire is in winding and without winding. Also, the wire varies in thickness. The wire needs different thicknesses for different purposes. You'll also need glue. You can use super glue, floral glue, and glue for a glue gun. So you need glue gun too. The choice of type of glue depends on the task that need to be solved. I personally completely refuse super glue, as I was allergic to this type of glue, and I would not recommend it to you, since this glue is very toxic. So I completely switched to floristic glue and glue gun. Then you can do without various dyes. It could be acrylic paints, professional soft oil pastel. I have Mangyo company. This dye I used to tint the surface of the petals and leaves. To draw a precise line and spots on the petals, I use permanent markers. Also, I use a colored gel pens, dry art pastels, acrylic felt tip pens, oil paints and more. And of course we need a palette and brushes. Then for assembling branches you need a floral tape. Of the additional materials you may need flock powder, fishing line, household sponges, water-based finish isolant matte and glossy, realistic finish stamens high quality, double-side tape, and various bases and decorative elements for making jewelry with flowers. When working with foam, you can't do without an iron and convenient scissors. Also, you'll need sticks with balls at the ends. And you'll need nippers and pliers, ruler, and a large number of different molds and viners. These tools are used to give texture to leaves and petals. So, this is realistic mold and it will help to make a realistic texture, but a rose leaf will be realistic only on the front side. And here is a silicone veneer, and this is the best tool to give texture when working with foam, since the leaf of the plant is realistic on both sides. And this veneer is combined, one side is silicone and other side is plastic. Such a veneer is also very good at work. this is another example of a plastic mold for creating a rose petal. When choosing viners and molds for working with foam, you need to pay attention to the quality and realism of the texture. Also, pay attention to the density of the silicone. For our purposes, solid silicone viners are suitable. I've listed the basic materials and tools. This list can be expanded indefinitely, but you can make gorgeous flowers if you wish using the minimum from this list. In my future lessons, I'll show you different techniques for making flowers, from simple to complex. So thank you for your attention, and I look forward to your like and subscription. Already love you, and bye bye!